bit of back and forth at the desk here about who is actually gonna win. I'll bring it, I'm scrappy.
You're on a box.
We're going to Game 5, ladies and gentlemen, between Tempo Storm and Team 12. It has been an amazing series. And man, I just had this thought like 10 seconds before we went live.
Yeah, I mean, I see you over here, I'm like, what?
I just like shouted all of a sudden. I probably scared all the camera people. But it's about this, the battleground. Where are we going? Tempo Storm last week picked Infernal Shrines when they had the opportunity. Do they do it again? No. They picked first pick, and Team 12 picks Infernal Shrines. That gives Tempo Storm first pick on a map that they picked last week. I think Tempo Storm have it. But you think Team 12 have it, so
yeah,
it balances out the desk.
That was the back and forth.
Yep.
She's thinking Tempo, I'm thinking Team 12. And Gilly, we're 4 games into this best of 5, and everybody that's had map picks so far has won.
Yes, but Tempo Storm has had map pick twice, switches it out, because they know that it's going to be Shrines that gets picked. Tomb's gone.
Like,
Battlefield of Eternity was picked already. It's out of there too.
So they value the first pick.
They do value first pick.
We haven't seen a whole lot of that mage style play that we saw last week. It's been more of the Zeratul style.
That's true.
I'm still waiting. I mean, we've still got, just so you know, we've had a couple of Zeratul games on Glaurung, one from Goku. Glaurung also has played a hero named Kerrigan, which we saw last week from Michael Udall. And it's still very much possible. Psalm also played it at BlizzCon. So they have very capable players on this team of going off on this hero. I don't know if it's something we'll see. I think that we're going to be seeing a slightly different draft. I'm excited to see this one.
I am so glad that it was Infernal Shrines. I felt like there was almost no way that it didn't. That was my realization. Shrines has not been picked yet, and it's still up. And Tempo picked it last week. Tempo have never picked Infernal Shrines. They never did. It was their ban for almost all of last year. And then, versus LFM, they picked it. Now, the real mind games, did they pick it, but they actually don't really want to play it, but then they didn't ban it. They banned Tomb.
Look, if I'm not picking it, I know you're going to pick it, but I want first pick. So if you know that I know that you know, then
we know something.
We know.
And there you go. The true hard-hitting analysis here at the desk. We're just about to get into the draft. This series has been incredible. The momentum is there for Team 12. They not only won the last game on Towers of Doom, but they did so in dominant fashion. Yeah,
the controlling of rotations, manipulating the fact that the early game on the side of Tempo Storm with the Zeratul being the solo laner, they really took advantage of that and were able to invade and pretty much control the early part, and they took every single bit of that and just controlled it. I don't think they're going to get away with that on a map like this, but the Zeratul pick definitely got exploited last game macro-wise, and I think that was a really big key component to Team 12's success on Towers of Doom.
Last week, Team 12 busted out Sonya and Stukov and Jaina, and even Falstad, and we're going for aggressive fly-ins versus LFM on Infernal Shrines. Tempo Storm did have their ETC as they did, but also this is where we saw Fan make plays with Junkrat going along with the Punisher jump. They also picked Jaina, so we might see Jaina move up there and then had their Malthael, which Malthael has only been banned so far this series. We have yet to see either team be able to get him where they would at least like for him in a draft.
Yeah, the Malthael pick, I think, will continue to kind of pop up in that second ban phase. It seems most likely Genji being hovered here for Tempo. There's just so many counterplays that we could see on both sides here in terms of the playstyle that people want. Goku, of course, playing a little bit more neutral. We end up with the ETC ban, but the Stukov will be probably the most interesting one that we see. And this is something that I think will evolve as drafts go, is that if neither of the Shimada brothers are banned, look, if you're not going to first ban it, then I'm not going to ban the other one, and I'm going to see if I can take that. Again, you said we haven't seen Hanzo played by Team 12 yet. We'll see if they'll have the opportunity or whether Tempo Storm is going to pick that. It's going to be either Genji or Hanzo, it feels. We've seen less Greymane first fix, at least.
A lot more of the Shimadagans happening.
Is that what we're calling it now?
I'm sticking to it. I don't think Team 12 has done this before, where they will wait a very long time to show that they can play something. Not because they have to, just because, actually, I'm thinking more of Freedom. Yeah, Freedom, but it was Kieran Dansky's picks. They waited for a really long time at Gold Club World Championship with Team 12, they're back on there again to show that they were still playing Genji. But it's not going to be Genji, and it's not going to be Hanzo. It's going to be Greymane. That... Huh.
Wait a minute, Greymane last game got a win.
He did win.
By the way, finally. In this series, we'll see if Tempo can repeat that success on their side. So with Genji, Hanzo both being let through, generally you won't see both of them picked up, I feel. Because you really show your hand in the early part, and I really don't think they complement each other terribly well. And it's Infernal Shrines, where they're not going to be bad heroes. They're just both, this is not their strongest battleground, so to speak. So where we see Team 12 go with this will be interesting.
They're also mortal enemies. So there's that to keep in mind.
Yeah, I mean, you know, how can you play together if you hate each other?
Exactly. So is it a Genji for Kiridansky? Tassadar Hanzo. This is a thing. Now played by both teams, Tassadar and Hanzo. We had it once last week too. Tassadar helps with that shrine clear though too.
Yeah. How is Tassadar all of a sudden just like, look, I'm back?
He never leaves for long. You know this.
He shifted out a little bit.
And then he hit Archon, had it shift again, and came back.
It's everybody loves Tassadar.
Greymane. Tempo Storm, generally when they were finding success earlier in this series, was prioritizing a higher Muradin. Haven't seen that, have that switch to a Nubarak. They did get one win with the Anubarak. And paired it with Ragnaros, and Ragnaros can stall out the game again, but there's also the Medivh factor.
Opens up world that you
hurt.
can play in. Yeah, I mean, just, you know, Kerrigan lacks mobility and can get in and out. There's a lot of potential. Could be something completely neutral like Leoric, Malthael, any of those.
But where's the fun in that?
Where's the fun in that?
Game 5, we need a Kerrigan.
It really opens up the door for Glaurung to be aggressive, plus have the safety net. And it goes to a point that I made last week. Psalm and Glaurung played somewhat identical roles with the Medivh, but they also have a very melee-heavy background in the sense that they've been the playmaker on Kerrigan. They've played the Zeratul, they've played the Medivh. And that's very rare that you kind of have that dynamic where you've played it, I've played it, we've both played both ends of the spectrum, and so you kind of know what they need and what you'll get in return. And I think that's going to be something that Tempo Storm has as an advantage that they can kind of keep for a secret strategy. And if you're in Game 5 against one of the best teams that you're going to be going against, maybe now you can kind of find that flexibility. I'm not saying it has to be Kerrigan, but I'm saying that dynamic between Psalm and Glaurung is a huge point for me.
Yeah, they have already proven how well they work together. Thinking about the Dragon's Arrow with the Sulfurous Smash that we saw earlier on Volskaya Foundry. There is a lot of advantage to that, but Team 12 also have the duo synergy of the front line and the back line, Justin and Buds being friends since middle school. They have Dansky and Kira as the back line together. They have a lot of communication and a lot of heroes that they sort of can do the same with too. It's a close one, everyone. Arthas banned, Malthael banned as we head into the final few picks for both teams.
Arthas keeps bladed momentum. The level 7 talent for Kerrigan neutralized. He also does well to take care of Illidan, things like that.
Greymane.
And Greymane, yeah. I mean, that's normally the reason, but I'm just trying to go further because I want something. I want that big playmaker.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
So with Team 12, you know, we've seen Justine play Johanna in the past. This is one of her better battlegrounds, this and Tomb. It gives you shrine control. You have Tassadar there. You have immense shrine control, but you don't necessarily have the same type of engagement, the same type of kill potential. And that's going to be a thing that, do you decide to go down that path, or do you want to be a little bit more aggressive? I mean, it seems Johanna is a safe pick, but when it comes to that engage and disengage, is it the right pick?
I was wondering if Buds wanted a Twilight Dream to do with the Medivh portaling in, if they wanted to have possibly the Stukov as a silence underneath. Neither. Uther and Sonya. Sonya has so much protection. Team 12 showed this Sonya on Infernal Shrines last week. Goku is more than capable of busting out with the Sonya plays too, and this is going to be a tanky Sonya. Very difficult to kill now with the Tassadar and the Uther.
It gives you a lot of control for that potential X-Factor hero. You have the stun, you have Sonya who can really do damage there. Tassadar double shift, Hanzo, you know, you've got the protection of Uther, and they held that warrior pick. That way they can try and counter, see what might be coming out with this Medivh pick. The Medivh pick obviously brings a whole different dynamic to this game. And when you have that, you kind of got to play your cards. You don't want to show everything. And I think that holding that warrior pick to counter what could potentially be coming out for Tempo Storm, it gives them a lot more peace of mind. The Uther and Sonya, very strong, very safe, and really kind of counters a lot of what Tempo might be considering.
Really hoping to see Stukov here for the last pick. No, Alexstrasza. Alexstrasza earlier today, Method played her on Infernal Shrines, and her capabilities to control shrines with Dragon Queen, very high, that she can do that. I'm really excited to see this Alexstrasza pick for Tempo Storm. I'm excited to see June play Alexstrasza, and we have Ragnaros back again.
So now, if you're just in, what do you feel comfortable on? Again, the Johanna is a safe pick. Muradin is still available. You know, you get that mini stun, you have that shrine control, but with a Hanzo, Tassadar, Sonya, do you have the engagement tools? Do you have the ability to take a team fight or counter a team fight that we've seen before? You could always fall back on a potential Tyrael. Things like that are available for Team 12. And I think their consideration in terms of what their tank is will heavily determine how they're going to play and how they're going to approach this game.
9 seconds for Justin's hero. Most warriors back up. They'll go back to Diablo.
All right.
No Medivh Diablo, but still the Diablo. Still a lot of places to get value out of Devastating Charge. The percent damage he has. He's tough to deal with on the shrines. There's a lot of globes. There, you know, you're going back and forth. So Devil's Due, you get a lot out of that. This is his map. This is Diablo's map.
There's a very interesting thing. I was actually talking about this last night. If you go back a couple of years, MVP Black, now KSV Black, you know, Diablo was a thing they dominated with. And the way that we see that team approach Infernal Shrines, as dominant as they are and as aggressive as we think that they are, they use Diablo on this map and they'll use the shrine as their focal point, their center point. And the way that they would rotate is they would use it as an axis, and then they would grab somebody, isolate, and then capitalize, and the team would rotate around that. Most people think Diablo's got to charge in, you got to follow up the stuns, you got to follow up everything, but it was really about control. And I really wonder if that's something that we'll see here from Team 12, is having that control over the center point, daring somebody to come forward, and then, as you said, having those windows, those corners to kind of charge somebody into. I really would like to see that from Team 12 in terms of shrine control, and we're going to find out.
Yeah, and on the back of that, Sonya and Tassadar will be chipping away at the Skeletal Defenders. This is it. It's all or nothing. It's down to one game, and that game is on Infernal Shrines between Tempo Storm and Team 12. So let's get to it.
Got the Ragnaros pick again, gives you that safety on that back side if you do lose the Punisher. Alexstrasza, of course, really good for those AoE heals as well as sustaining in these fights. And as we saw before, also pretty good at taking Skeletal Defenders.
Yeah, Dragon Queen has a very long range. It has the splash. With Wing Buffet, it can be really scary to engage into, or you just can't at all because of the knockback. So having the control over those points may give enough time. And if you think about it, Tempo Storm have two very long cooldown traits that are great at being able to control those shrines. And then from behind that, a Greymane who can pick up the Skeletal Defenders quite fast himself. So having the Dragon Queen to hold on and get enough of a lead so that Molten Core can finish off the rest, or vice versa, Tempo Storm can have very safe options to be able to get those shrines. So it's up to Team 12 with their Diablo to see if they can control enough, get the right picks, make sure that they are setting up in a way so that Sonya and Tassadar can get the Skeletal Defenders necessary for them to win it.
You know, I saw this earlier, I believe in the Method Fnatic series in our opening series of today, where we saw a Globe talent that was picked up for a Warrior, and also an Alexstrasza, who, by the way, can generate globes with a certain talent, the Circle of Life, after you can get that going. So it will be a little bit easier, I think, this time around for a Nubrek to finish that quest, and but that does require Alexstrasza to kind of finish hers first.
Yeah, it provided a lot of synergy with Diablo, who still gets that extra healing based on his trait from Devil's Due from the regen globes. So that combo was very cool to see from Method earlier today. That's not the case here, but like you said, still might be able to help Regen Master finish faster. Also increases the additional heal over time, or heal for percent healing at the first level of finishing the W build. This has seemed to be more and more of the focus is having the abundance build for Alexstrasza. We heard a lot of different things about what build was going to be best for them, but being able to provide that globe, provide that extra healing, as long as you are making sure that you have good placement of those abundances.
Pure going in. Fan gets flipped over, stunned into the wall. The heal's in return, not able to get the kill just yet this early in the game, but as those opportunities open up later, I mean, that's the thing where kind of Hanzo fits in, is that if that's a different style hero, maybe you get that kill, but you know, it's going to be a group effort, and Tassadar in that composition, which we've seen so far, doesn't have that early game kill potential that you'd like. So it's a threat, but I don't think it's that big of a threat just yet.
A couple of different options that we've seen at this level 4 for Alexstrasza. We've seen some Surge of Vitality, which gives movement speed when the healing burst goes out. Also Exuberance, if June is more worried about his own positioning and his own mobility, can get that as long as he believes that his health bar is going to be high enough up, or if he feels like he's going to be taking constant poke from that Tassadar, from the Hanzo too, may not feel like he will be able to keep that up reliably. And there's not too much really to stop Tempo Storm from being able to control those points for the abundance. Not like a Jaina, we've seen problems with that before. Junkrat to knock you off of the abundance.
And we saw that Junkrat in the combo last week used by Fan against an Alexstrasza. No Tychus this go around.
Now the first shrine has started. Team 12 show no interest in it yet. They want to get a better setup in the lanes. This is the first Punisher, so it's going to do less damage than later ones. So just pushing out lanes. You can even see Goku slowing down so that Tempo Storm misses more of the experience at the bottom, and Molten Core is used now to stop Team 12 from pushing top, knowing that it's very likely that they get that shrine since Team 12 have shown very little interest in it.
There's one of the advantages of having Psalm there. We saw the charge into the shrine, actually, to get the stun, the flip out of the heal, but you've got the portal to get right back out of there. Fan more than okay there, and as you said, Tempo Storm will easily take this first shrine, as Team 12 willing to concede and soak experience elsewhere.
Got the globes. Kauto wasn't there. But here goes the Punisher, the Mortar Punisher. For the very first one is Team 12 with the sieging, a little bit of extra time in the lanes, just about to get 7 ahead of Tempo Storm, but Tempo still more than fine to continue sieging along with it, just try to get the towers down in this mid lane. Ooh, another instance of no Master's Touch was still the pick last game. This time Arcane Explosion. First time Force of Will absorbs damage, it's going to do damage to nearby enemies. Seems like at least in North America, our Medivh players are slowly shifting away from Master's Touch. It can be a bear to complete, especially if you lose, if you die before you finish the stacks. It's doesn't look likely to finish it, or very, very late game.
I like it. You know, I mean, you're talking about heavy melee composition, depending on where Uther's positioning is. So you can find good value out of that. And maybe it's something that somebody's like, hey, you know what, I'm going to play this in scrims. And somebody's like, well, I never considered that. And if you look at it compositionally, it's not too bad. So definitely a change up in terms of our picks in the meta.
Pretty close game for our game 5. Both teams going down and getting their Khazra-Can. Just making sure that they are well on their way to heroic abilities for the next fight. Next shrine is going to be down in the bottom.
Right now, no kills, although
Fan,
good use of his Worgen form, but
soon. Force of Will. Oh, portal even before that. Butts was there with the stun. Now is the disengage out.
We've still got more. I was going to say, he went Diabolical Momentum. No portal! As Psalm goes down just a half second too late. Diabolical Momentum, and now Justin going in for more, not able to get there, but he got enough cooldown reduction to set up another combo just in time.
Yeah, handling it. Nearly got a second kill. That was the first blood of the game. Nearly 6 minutes in. gives Team 12 the edge on the way to heroic abilities, but nothing too terrible. Like we said before, no Master's Touch. Had he had it, this would be one very sad song.
I got a feeling we might see APOC this go around. Maybe not Lightning Breath, but he is holding it. Again, everything else pretty standard. Actually, we got Force Wall. We have Force Wall.
Oh, perfect flip stun into the small wall.
That's the thing, is you can create those same opportunities with the Force Wall. If you can get those stuns and then get the APOC, again, he's holding. I'd be a bit surprised Infernal Shrines. You have more chokes.
But you got Force Wall into a face full of hot breath, too, with
that is true.
Lightning Breath. What do we have for Tempo Storm? As you would expect, Cursed Bullets means maybe Diablo is going to be the primary target, at least enough to try to force him back with that % damage.
Yeah, Lightning Breath is here again. And so it'll be something to watch. We'll have a stationary target. We have Cursed Bullet in response, which can rip through that Diablo health pool, especially with souls, and then a potential follow-up with Sulfurous Smash on top of that. So having the armor, Buds is going to have to be quick on the trigger when he comes to getting those heals out, applying that armor, and potentially the Divine Shield. We'll see soon.
Glau went through the portal and maybe found more than he would have liked as he falls down just as the Dragon Queen starts to come out. No Molten Core to help along with this, but they do have a 3-man Leyline Seal. Cattle setting up. Great cleanse on Justin from Buds. Allows Justin to get out. Only Buds is hit from that Impale. Goku has the Divine Shield, and he's getting to the back line. A lot of healing from that Whirlwind. Looking at the Skeletal Defenders, really close between the two teams. If Tempo Storm can hang in, Ragnaros is back in a few seconds.
Yeah, and Ragnaros can help you steal those away. He's spawned, it's dead even. Till now, 30 to 25. There's the Force Wall into it, the protection there. Keeping Psalm alive, he's got the portal back in, but that's all for naught. It gives them vision. That's gonna be a Punisher picked up for Team 12.
Yeah, Team 12, the focus on clear to make sure that they got what they needed out of that Ragnaros kill. Uses the Molten Core now instead as the jump was baited back in. Swing hits everybody, but Team 12, the faster they can take down that Molten, the faster they can take out the fort and get themselves their team.
Yeah, they've done really well. After getting that one pick, it's opened up a lot for them. They've got a full level lead. They're going to instantly turn their attention. This is something that, you know, we'll see a lot of teams do. They'll rotate up. They'll find different opportunities to push in too far in that bot lane. You know, you might find yourself a long retreat out, so they're going to find opportunities forward, take down more structures, and set up future pushes for other Punishers.
Well, that shrine was very successful for Team 12. The portal went in, Glaurung came in through the portal, and there was just a whole lot of Team 12 there ready and waiting for him. They have a lot of lockdown if something like that happens again between the Diablo, the Uther, and the Sonya. Tempo Storm maybe just getting very excited to get in and ready for the fight at that shrine, going in before everyone was out. We have yet to see them be able to take the fight on their terms, using the cocoon, using the ley line with the Sulfurous Smash after. There's a cocoon, but unfortunately for Tempo Storm, it's so Cattle can escape.
He's like, look, I really want this camp. I don't want to fight for it, so I'm just going to cocoon you, take it, then burrow out. No big deal. It should be back up in time for the next shrine phase. It's on a short enough cooldown. Effective use out of it.
Cleanse used on Justin. Klau's going for the flank. Caught by Goku. Defensive portal. Portal gets a lot better for Tempo Storm. Now that they have 13, they have quickening. It increases the uptime of portal significantly. But it is still Team 12's game. They are in the lead, just with that one structure. So Tempo Storm has plenty of opportunities to get back in the game.
Gilly, you mentioned this, I think, in the early part of the, or the later part of the draft, or as we were going in. Diablo does have that percentage-based damage later in the game, and it comes with Devastating Charge at 13, which is one of my favorite talents, because at level 16, when you get the reset on your Q off of your E, we see the dive, the slam, the repeated dive, and players get punished. And when you can stack that up, take 15% damage per, like that is nasty damage. And so that's something that Justin is very good at. And Infernal Shrines has a lot of opportunities to make that happen. So that's That's my favorite part on this battleground when you've got a Diablo.
And consider the heals that are behind a new Barak. You've got Alex Straza, who can give a little bit by sacrificing some of her health with her Gift of Life, but Abundance takes a while. So it's up to Psalm, making sure that he has the Force of Will for whomever gets caught from that, and maybe even a ley line if that starts the initiation for the rest of the team fight. Speaking of Psalm, he's going to check in and see what Team 12 are up to, sees them at the Shaman. Shrine's going to start soon. Team 12 just about to 16, puts Tempo Storm in a hairy spot now.
Yeah, and you can't imagine Tempo Storm's going to be too aggressive. They might poke around a little bit. Again, you have the fallback of the Molten Core. You know, if you lose the Punisher, you're going to use that on the keep. You can't expect to keep the top fort alive. Without 16, they're hesitant. If they had 16, I imagine they're pulling the trigger on that invade.
Yeah, they take out the tower and the gate here, which is already a really good setup for them. They got their Shaman just a little bit earlier, which allows them to push in, take that, get 16, and open up, so there's not as safe of a way of being able to bait over the Punisher. The Molten Core, they dealt with it really fast the last time that they defended at it. Tempo Storm have Greyman in the bottom, just trying to get 16, so they're even going to send Ragnaros there, but making sure that they're not just giving up the fort for free so that it's an even better push once Team 12 gets the Punisher.
They're going to put some pressure on. You have Psionic Echo, of course. Doesn't stack, but you can kind of get that. Oh, we've got Justin literally from the shadows there.
He's going to flip him back over. Throw him back in again. Force of Will's already down. He's not in the Abundance point, and it won't matter. It takes 3 seconds, and a new Barak was gone far faster than that. Justin catches a new Barak, and this is a free fort for sure, as Tempo Storm was so hoping to get 16 to defend versus this Punisher.
Gilly, you know, I said this in our cast last week. It's not about getting something. It's about what you do with it. And getting that kill opens up a world of opportunities for Team 12. They've taken down almost the entire keep wall before the Punisher gets there. Glaurung almost down on the Molten Core. This should be a keep, and that is a big power play for Team 12.
And because the small wall was down so fast, everyone was so scared to bait the leap over. Finally, Fan will do it, and a new Barak is back. Glaurung's been caught. Push back in. Leyline has to go out.
Sulfurous Smash goes down. D-Shield has to be used onto Uther. Justin is going to go down. Buzz is going to go down as well. But June on the backside, he is very far forward. Cure, though, not able to deal with the aggression. And that, Cure does get a counter. Oh!
It's everywhere. The fight is everywhere.
If he pulled that off.
Dansky got the Alex Straza kill. They at least got the 1 kill there, but the fighting is everywhere. It is just crazy in this last game. Mortal out, Psalm trying to help Glaurung, but Goku is nothing to mess with when you have a low health bar like Glaurung and Psalm have. That Poison Spear is going to wreck you.
If Cure pulled that off, I probably broke a few eardrums on it, but if he pulled that double off, that would have been highlight right there. But he did get a trade, which was pretty significant in that. But Tempo Storm, by getting a couple kills, turning that around, they do lose the keep, but it nets them a bit of experience to get back in the game. But they've got to continue this. I mean, they've got 1 fort down by way of just that side soaking 16.
Yeah, they're not out of it at all. They haven't taken out a fort. There are 2 that are low. They have to keep this going. They've caught Goku. Oh no, there is the cocoon to stop the whirlwinding. Justin, Dansky, and Buds are coming back in. Everyone's here. The Dragon Arrow showing up. Hits 2 with the stun. The Flame Line Seal to counter.
The counter's there. Goku's going to try and get the counter on that. The Force Wall not able to get into position for them to get the charge in. But that Ley Line Seal might have just saved the game, because there were a couple of people caught in there, and had they followed up a 3rd kill beyond that, Team 12 would have been able to march top and in the game. So Psalm keeping his team alive.
Other than that bottom fort, though, Tempo Storm really didn't get back out on the map. Top is going to be a problem for the rest of the game. It's a really big problem because the next shrine is going to be in the bottom, and Team 12 have the push in the mid. Wow is going to use his Molten Core just to clear this out quickly.
Yeah, you have enough time between the shrine phases. Losing that fort, because the way everything's kind of changed, there's more experience into that fort now after that side tower's gone.
Yeah.
That gives you that race towards 20 if you're Team 12. By using that Molten Core, it saves you experience. It is on a 2-minute cooldown, But by the time it comes in and by the time the Punishers spawn, you should have that available for use, but that does buy time experience-wise.
You're talking about when the Shrine spawns or when the Punisher spawns?
Punisher spawns,
Yeah.
yeah. So by the Shrine, you probably won't have it in time to like steal the skeletal defenders.
That's my concern.
Yeah, but you'll still have it available. And this is a really good call to sit on this. You mentioned a moment ago, having that top lane push while the Shrine is bottom, that Shaman camp will definitely be effective.
Yeah, means Tempo Storm needs to try to hold this if they can so that it will slow it down. Psalm checks, Shaman camp. Shrine activating in 30 seconds.
You know, when you only see Medivh, you're not quite sure who's on the other side of that wall because the portal can bring them in instantly. And so it's like, you know what, let's just pick it up and we'll just try and get 20 elsewhere. Right now, Tempo Storm fighting for their lives right now. Team 12, however, they're hoping to take a team fight and end the game.
Yeah, Tempo spots everything that Team 12 is doing, sees the rotation there. Tempo clear out just a little bit more, catching them up closer to 20. Team 12 are still faster to that, but also Team 12 gets onto the point, so they're going to have more of the skeletal defenders. Sklau comes through the portal.
Remember, once level 20 comes in, if you go Force Wall upgrade, there is just so much zoning control. Goku waiting at the bottom, seeing who comes through that portal, if anybody. Bud's hiding in the fog of war, looking to follow up any stun, any CC as he can. Justine finished his devastating charge. Tempo Storm coming in forward.
Dragon Queen is out now. Submerge saves the life of Ragnaros for a time. He's going to use Sulfura Smash down. Goku is the target for Tempo Storm. They knock it back. Dragon Queen still raging through all of Team 12 as he goes into Cleansing Flame, starting to drop the bombs on all of Team 12.
They're trying to drop the bombs. Justine trying to get the charge in. Cattle takes a lot of damage, but he gets the portal in just the nick of time. Goku, however, was putting so much pressure on the backside, but that is a huge heal on the back, and that is going to be a Punisher picked up by Tempo Storm to keep them in this game.
June!
Justine!
Justine takes down June. June is gone, no support, but the Punisher is picked up by Tempo Storm. They stalled out long enough. They had Molten Core back. They're going for potentially more kills as Tempo Storm chases them down.
Justine had about 5% health. He's like, I don't care. I get this kill. I've got souls. It's no big deal. Ends up getting the kill and gets out. Now they're going to be able to defend the bottom Punisher. But Tempo Storm still in this game, and it's a 20 versus 20. Any fight beyond this, Gilly, it's basically game over.
It's an excellent play from Tempo Storm that they cleared out the Shaman from Team 12. They had their Shaman pushing all the way. They didn't have to deal with that top in what ended up being a long, drawn-out fight. Also, I have to highlight June. He uses the Dragon Queen, then goes immediately into Cleansing Flame, has on Ruby Wings, gets the number of hits necessary to come back down in Dragon Queen, and had that for so long. They stalled out so well before June ended up going down. They got the Punisher and they staved off the end of the game. They even got some keep damage done. This game's still going, J-How.
Still going. You know, after some of the backdoor core calls I saw in Europe earlier, you kind of wonder, were our NA counterparts watching? Do they have a race within them? By the way, we did not get the Force Wall upgrade from Tassadar. Instead, we get the shield for everybody, and that's, you know, helping out with a little bit with the AoE potential damage that we saw in that last team fight. So not the type of lockdown control. Ooh.
Yeah, that's the setup. That's all you need the Force Wall for. Now Cattle in a lot of damage as the Lord of Terror came out. Som goes down as he was hoping to save Cattle. Another Force Wall down. Glaurung is caught on the other side of Team 12, but with the flip from Justine, is going to keep going. Buds now falls. He's got redemption, so he comes back. They're going to catch Goku, though.
He walked in intentionally. They're getting the Ghost Heal Uther. He's going to be back in just a moment as well, and he'll be able to supply even more heals. He's keeping his teams alive. Bud's making the necessary sacrifice to keep his team alive and look for a potential counter kill or another counter engage to try and seal the deal. So Bud's heads up play, but that is a long cooldown on that level 20.
Yeah, really well done by Team 12. They did the same thing with Leoric as well, understanding those necessary sacrifices and what they can get from it. No Psalm for 20 seconds. When he comes back, Leyline Seal is up, but a lot of heroic abilities. The other ones from Tempo Storm are down. Team 12 wanting to open up this map even more. And Molten Core will slow it down for now.
It's going to slow it down. Justine, such a high health pool with all those souls, such survivability. He just kind of stands there, takes it, Molten Core used again defensively to save structures, and you got to credit Tempo and Glaurung for making those calls, and it's working out.
Now Medivh's back. Molten Core cooldown is down, but they saved the keep.
Wouldn't have this any other way. It's all going to come
yeah.
down to one fight, one moment for both of these teams to try and claim victory, as it's 2-2 in our best of 5. And what we could probably say is for the top spot, at least in terms of pride and other factors here in North America.
Yeah, we've got some surprising teams that may end up bringing it. We saw some great results from Gale Force Esports, from Simplicity last week. And of course, there's Team Freedom. Team Freedom hasn't shown us just what they can bring. We saw a little bit of it. They did take out Gale Force pretty commandingly 3-1. But at the very least, this is a record that will be very important, if nothing else, than for the bragging rights. Top Shrine ready and active. Catapults here pushing against Tempo. You don't have to worry about that as badly as they did in the last one. They're going to clear that out. Step onto the Shrine.
Yeah, with this being the Catapult's lane, I mean, it's neutralizing. It's, again, down to a team fight here. Who's going to take this as Justin goes in, a little bit of a soft engage, forces out the Dragon Queen.
Flip, but Glaurung heads straight in for the backline using the Submerge while the Dragon Queen is slowing down on the other side. Really hoping that they can get a pick on Goku, but Goku is just so survivable now that he is Sonya post 20. Dragon Queen has been used. Once that's down, even with the Draconic Discipline increasing the duration of that, you'll be relying on having Cleansing Flame for another one, and there he's going to use it.
Yeah, they had to. I mean, Justin was coming in for that flank. It's a defensive and offensive measure. They're going in. Justin trying to get the flip back over. The Lightning Breath as he goes down. He has souls. The Sulfurous Smash hitting nobody there.
Hit nobody. Justin's down, but he will be back. He's already back. He's just heading in. Some takes a bunch of arrows to the face. Tempo Storm have a moment while Diablo comes back to join up with the team. A lot of heroic abilities from Team 12, use everything. They just have the Force Wall left, which is low. Cursed Bullet with Ghanaian Roulette, another opportunity for more damage, but a lot has been expended from both teams here. But importantly, Tempo Storm had a moment to get back on the Shrine, use the clear, and take the Punisher, and they do just that.
I want to see right now Tempo Storm at least try and find an opportunity to end this game via a Medivh portal. Get that in, give yourself vision, get it over the wall potentially. But they're opening it up. Follow up the Punisher. The Punisher is on your side. It can create that moment you're looking for.
They need to get that down if they're going to do that. Just barely do. There's the portal on the other side. Glaurung goes through, gets pushed away from the portal, but has so much protection. Submerge, Force of Will. It is impossible to kill this Ragnaros. He is the raid boss he is meant to be. The Lightning Breath goes out, so does the Cocoon. Now Glaurung goes down to a Dragon's Arrow. Tempo Storm just about to get the keep, but they have to step away. The Punisher's still there. He'll take it. Tempo Storm cannot lose anything else as Team 12 chase.
That was excellent isolation. Good discipline by Justin. He got the flip over, positioned himself nicely, flipped him back towards the mid keep. A lot of people would be a little bit trigger happy, try and push him back into that top keep, but Justin, being the amazing pro that he is, used discipline, used timing, isolated Glaurung, and helped save the day. Now, Gilly, it's dead even. Both teams, top keep down. Something's got to give.
Something will give, but not quite yet. Not unless Team 12 catch Tempo Storm without their Ragnaros. Tempo Storm have no inclination of giving them that opportunity. Tempo Storm lost that keep a while ago, and they have clambered back into this game by taking out that keep. They no longer have to worry about those catapults. Shrine will be in mid very soon. What a freaking series!
You know, the weird thing is that if we see Team 12 get like one pick, like we saw Tempo Storm, and then, you know, they win the Shrine, there's still a fort in the way. It won't last long, but it still buys time, and you still have Molten Core. Team 12 has to be very decisive in their team fight victory. Getting one pick, I don't think is going to be enough for Team 12 here. If they get one pick and snowball it into more, sure. But if it's just one pick, I don't think it's going to be enough. And maybe Tempo Storm can, but Team 12 has to decisively take a team fight.
Well, they're going to take out the fort if they can. They march forward. They have the later camp. The camp's a little bit dealt with. But ideally, taking out that fort would be nice for that shrine.
How do you possibly look across the map and say, they've got a Ragnaros who also has Molten Core, and what we've seen from Alex Straza so far, how do we take this shrine?
That's been the million-dollar question. And for Team 12, what worked out before was being ahead. They always had the talent tier advantage, so they got on the point first. They got a whole bunch. And then if Tempo Storm came in, they would take out Glowering. But Glowering is proving to be extremely difficult late game to kill now that they have all this healing from Alex Straza's setup, the armor that he gives himself, the submerged, the force of will. It's nearly impossible to bring down this Ragnaros.
The Lord of Terror scurries about. Got a moment of silence, Gilly, as it's the calm before the storm.
Team posturing up for the top. Goku watching to see if Rag joins. Ever watchful to get the setup spear. Clearing out the shaman. Keeps Tempo Storm in the top. Lets Team 12 move down. Get this mid push. Set up faster. But with 13 seconds still left, it's gonna be an even fight for what may be and what probably question mark will be the last shrine.
We're 27, almost 28 minutes in. This is it.
It's an Arcane Punisher.
It's an Arcane Punisher, the most threatening. Goku flanking the backside. Psalm trying to sniff out. The shrines are going to be here. Nice impale there by Cattle to save himself some damage, and now we've got the fight.
Yeah, the Dragon Queen out, the Leyline Seal 2, hitting a whole lot of people. Not Goku, but Goku, the tanky survivable one with Ignore Pain, gets Buds out of the cocoon. Now Team 12 feeling pretty confident. They got through the lane line, they got through the engage, they're getting through the Dragon Queen, and they're ahead in this shrine.
They're ahead for now. The Force Wall zoning them out. They're ahead by a little bit, but their health bars are low enough. They're being forced off the point. June and team keeping his team alive. Goku just missed the spear on the backside. They've got it. The Dragon form, the Cleansing Flame is up, and now they're being aggressive.
The Divine Shield allows Justin to go back in for one more push. As June comes down, he's in the Dragon Queen form. He pushes back Buds. Everybody from Tempo Storm very healthy as they bring down Buds, who does have redemption, but look at the rest of Team 12. Dansky almost dead, Goku almost dead, Justin almost dead. He goes in again, he's looking for June as he finally brings down Diablo. Sonya has fallen, Tempo Storm has taken the shrine.
They've taken the shrine, and Gilly, this should be good enough to do game. The portal's there, Dansky's on the other side with almost no health. He puts down the Psy Storm. It is 4 versus 3. We've got a 4 versus 2. There's no redemption left. That should be enough for Tempo Storm in this epic duel to take the game. And it seems like Cure is not willing to give up just yet.
Oh, Medivh cheats. Caterpillar will too. Impale there. Sulfurous Smash. No Hanzo. Tassadar, the lone survivor. For still 23 more seconds until Diablo has returned. The Punisher and Tempo Storm march on to the core. Only Tassadar is left, and Tempo Storm starts to bring it down without even the Punisher's help. They've got the heals, they have 4 members, they don't have Greymane. So they want to get this Punisher here, and as they bring down Tassadar, they will bring down this core. Tempo Storm, in the full 5-game series, takes out Team 12 for the win.
Series that could have gone either way. Tempo Storm puts themselves atop North America against a rival, you could say. Glaurung facing off against his old team here proves that Tempo Storm belongs at the top. And Team 12, just not enough.
But for Tempo Storm, it is a marathon. They played Team 12 today. They went all the way to Game 5. They play Team Freedom on Sunday. They need to be in top form to survive this weekend. So far, they're looking pretty good. That game, they had to make quite the comeback. They were behind, they had to give up a lot of shrines, they had to arrive late at shrines, but they persevered. They corrected mistakes, they made sure not to get too aggressive. and they won. But man, it was a 30-minute game, and we had a 30-minute on Volskaya, or close to 26. So you know that fatigue had to be a factor for the series.
Yeah, and I think that if you're watching this series, whether you're an amateur team, whether you're in the HGC, you could actually go back to the Volskaya game in this game to see how to come back in a game. Tempo Storm, despite being down at moments throughout this series, they always found a way to come back, and they did it in ways that are at the top of their game. And I think that's something that speaks to the way that Tempo plays. They've been aggressive, they've changed their play style, but then when they're down, they're no longer just wilting and just saying, oh, well, maybe we'll come back. They're finding ways, decisive in all of their calls, and I think everything that they've kind of done is turning over a new leaf, a better Tempo Storm, I think, this year, and they've shown it here coming out, taking that series, and that was hard fought series.
Yeah, it was very difficult for them to get the win. And Team 12, man, I know they're going to be disappointed because a lot was riding on that series, but they worked very hard and nearly had the win too. It's just in the end, it turns out Double Dragon's pretty good, and I do mean Alex Straza. June making the Alex plays. It was an awesome series. Let's check in with Glauron, because I know he has got to be feeling pretty good after that. Hey, Glau, congratulations. You got the win. It was such a close series. Did you guys feel like there was any extra importance on this match?
Absolutely. This match, the way I see it, determines first or second place, depending on how our match versus Freedom goes. So everything was riding on this match. We have been prepping unbelievably hard. We took like a small break for Christmas, but like I'm so proud of my team. We've been working so hard for this matchup specifically, and to come out even with a win in that close of a series, I can't be happier.
Now, we saw in some of the drafts, obviously you're playing versus your old team, and we heard in the interview you just wanted it to be a true test of strength, but it kind of felt like in some of the drafts you were maybe getting called out a bit. You know, we saw the first pick Zeratol from Team 12 in Game 3. Did you feel the same?
Honestly, I try my best to focus on the game and not who my opponent is when I'm in the game. But in the drafts, it does affect me a little bit. I think overall, Som drafted really well this series, and regardless of their focus on me, he was able to come out on top with winning drafts in I think almost every game. So huge shout out to him for that.
Yeah, your Ragnaros play was super awesome. The synergy with you and Som, like the Dragon's Arrow, the Sulfurous Smash, was freaking amazing. Congratulations on your win. I'll send you over to J-How.
Thank you, Gilly.
Glau, congratulations, man. Take me through that first game, the Zeratol Dragonshire. There at the end, man, I mean, I'm over here screaming my head off watching you. Take me through what that's like in the heat of the moment.
Oh, well, there's nothing more fun than new Zeratol for me personally. I love the way he feels with Might of the Nerazim, and I've been going Seeker in the Dark. Most people have been preferring Wormhole, but hopefully in that game, like I made a case for why sometimes I think Wormhole is the overrated build. But yeah, it was a treat to play. Really happy we ended up winning that game.
Now, we saw a lot of comeback skill from you guys, most notably the Volskaya game with the Ragnaros. You know, you're on a new team, you're figuring out new dynamics. With this team, does it feel like you guys have enough experience, you're along those other guys? Like, what does the team dynamic feel like when you're able to make those calls, find ways to kind of come back and do it aggressively?
To be honest, our team dynamic, I feel like, is my team will carry me as long as I don't feed in the off lane. So thinking that, like, at the top of my list at all times, like, I really trust that my teammates' skill. So as long as I take low risks, get value, and then pressure when I know the enemy is weak, then I think our 4-1 dynamic of a team is really, really strong.
So Tempo Storm last year, known to be good, but then they kind of would lack a little bit of aggression. It seems like with you and Fan there, you've brought a little bit of that to the table. What do you think that you have contributed from your experience with Roll20, who is known to be a bit more aggressive? What do you think that you've brought to this team to kind of give you the guys that early aggression on camp invades and things like that?
Well, I pull the trigger very quick. When I see an enemy making a mistake, I like to punish it. So I think when I'm with the group and we're pushing the enemy's objectives, we like to punish very quickly.
Well, you guys have done an amazing job so far. Congratulations, man.
All right.
Awesome, thanks.
All right, Glau, what is it going to take to have a Tempo victory over Team Freedom on Sunday?
Lots of this right here, baby. And then...
Go ahead, you can go to shoutouts.
Hopefully, we'll be able to take on Freedom. We played in really solid today, and the match on Sunday is not going to be an easy one, I'm sure. but I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. Any further shout outs besides what you gave already?
Huge shout outs to my teammates. This was the most important match at the beginning of this year for me personally, so I'm really glad we were able to step it up, particularly Fan in the last game. He played pretty much flawlessly. And then on top of that, shout outs to all of our sponsors, Tempo Storm, Twitch. I got it right here, guys. Just one sec.
You got it.
On a side quest, how many Red Bulls?
NVIDIA, Secret Lab, Felix Gray, and SkyTech Gaming. Thank you guys so much for supporting us.
How many Red Bulls? I'm so sorry. How many Red Bulls have you had today?
So far, these two bad boys.
Because you look amped, man. You look
gotta
amped.
be.
Yeah.
I want to go take a nap, to be honest.
Okay.
It's a long series.
You take a nap. We're going to keep casting. Congrats again, my friend, on your win.
Have a good one, guys.
His adrenaline is up there.
Anyone would need a nap after 2 basically 30-minute games and then 3 other games. I'd say he deserves a nap. All of them do.
Yeah, wait, what? We get another series, though.
We're not taking a nap. We got Heroes Hearth versus, is it Team Freedom? It is Team Freedom. Heroes Hearth versus Freedom, so let's get to a break so we can get to that series. We'll see you in a few. Rotating up, not having HGC there. Here comes back down into the bottom as he stage dives in. Immediate massive shove as soon as the stage dive came in. Caterpillar, though, is not out of dodge. A power slide back in, claims the life of Muradin.
He goes. Dansky, however, Glaurung making the plays on the backside. He's going to get 2 kills. He might look for another one. Bud's in trouble. The silence is going to be there, but Glaurung coming in on the backside, getting the plays. That is 3 members down on the side of Team 12. Glaurung, give me some more, bud.
Man, it was Glaurung and it was Fan. And Glaurung can stop from picking up the Dragon Knight. But this is it for Team 12. Power slide through. Divine Shield's been used. They need to take down Cattle if they can. Massive shove pushes back again. And Justin can do just about nothing. And now Glaurung bringing in, takes out the Tychus. Looking for the Jaina or Buds. Just somebody. Jaina goes down next. Tempo Storm taking him out, bringing down the members of Team 12 one by one.
Are you kidding me?
Death metal.
Are you kidding me? Glaurung is a human highlight reel. He just absolutely annihilated Team 12. I cannot believe what I just saw, Gil. Keeping them alive and thwarting off a lot of that. We've got a huge Howling Blast.
Oh, that Howling Blast is going to be setting up for a lot of resets potentially as the Sanctification and Divine Shield both use Fan in so much danger as Bud's and Justin charge forward. That's one reset. Avatar used, but it's June and Cattle, and they are still both so low as the Leaping Strike goes in. Cure body blocking the Muradin. That's another reset. 3 kills, even just as Genji respawn. It's just Genji. The Hail Mary approach, if you will, as Genji comes down. Muradin setting up, starting to get the focus. The focus is Dansky. Fan is in there. Sanctification as Dansky dives back forward. Another turning on Fan, and they take him down.
They take him down. Dragon Blade is out, and there he's got the damage. But there's Dansky on the backside. Saw him. Can he get the takedown? Dansky somehow surviving. Gets the reset, and all of a sudden, Dansky is popping off. That is 3 members down. June's going to go down next. Muradin's going to run away. And that's going to be GG as Team 12 kicks off another team fight.
He's down. He's in the Dragon Queen form. He pushes back Buds. Everybody from Tempo Storm very healthy as they bring down Buds, who does have redemption. But look at the rest of Team 12. Dansky almost dead. Goku almost dead. Justin almost dead. He goes in again. He's looking for June as he finally brings down Diablo. Sonya has fallen. Tempo Storm has taken the shrine.
They've taken the shrine, and Gilly, this should be good enough to do game. The portal's there. Dansky's on the other side with almost no health. He puts down the Psystorm. It is 4 versus 3. We've got a 4 versus 2. There's no redemption left. That should be